Hey, I'm Leemo. I'm a multi-season challenge jungler. I peak top 50. Diana is a champion in the jungle who pops in and out of the meta. Though she finds herself in a bit of a rough spot right now, I thought it would be helpful to make a guide as she is one of the better starter junglers for people who are just learning. I do more educational content and coaching in my Discord, so if you're interested, check out the description and join. For runes, we're going to be taking Conqueror. Conqueror allows Diana to be a strong duelist and stacks up very quickly in teamfights. It also allows you to have the most variety in your build based on the game, just in case you don't know what you're going to build coming into it. It will vary depending on the pacing of the game and who gets fed, so this gives you the most versatility. For Triumph, the other two just aren't really viable on Diana, so we're going to be going Triumph every game. In the majority of your games, we're going to be going Alacrity. The only time I recommend Tenacity is if the enemy has point-and-click CC. That's really easy to land. So like Nautilus Assault, it's going to be really easy for them to chain CC you. So usually you're going to be going Tenacity when that's the case. We're going to be taking Last Stand in our final part. Last Stand is almost always going to give you more value than Coup de Grace. The only case where you might get more value from Coup de Grace is if you're versus lots of squishies and you're a full engage. Full AP, sorry. Then you're usually going to be full HP on your engage, so you might get a bit more value from Coup de Grace. Though generally, Last Stand's going to give you more value in skirmishes and dueling early, so we're going to be running it. For secondary tree, we're going Footwear. Footwear, you're never really rushing boots on Diana, so you're going to get 300 gold value plus more move speed, which is good for Diana to keep up with people. And it's going to give you a good boot timing anyways, because usually you're finishing your Mythic around the same time you're getting Magical Footwear, and that's when you're going to be wanting to get boots. For the final thing, we want Cosmic Insight. It's almost always going to be better to have our flash up as much as possible compared to everything else in this tree. So Cosmic Insight is going to allow us to pull off our E-Flash R engages as much as possible, which is kind of the best way to carry a game on Diana, is pulling off an engage where the enemy doesn't expect it, and you pull 5 people in and win the game. For our small runes, I don't know what these are called, we're going attack speed, adaptive, and then almost always HP. HP just outskills the other two, and you're not really looking to skirmish early, so there's almost no point of ever going the other two. For items, trying something new this time, I have nice little blocks here. We're almost always, we're almost never going the same build. If we're looking to go full AP, but we're snowballing in the game, Night Harvester is going to outvalue Protobelt until about 3 items, and then Protobelt will become better. So we're going to be going Night Harvester if we need to end the game fast, and then it's generally just the same build after this. This is the order you want to build items, usually, though you can have a bit of variability. You could just sit on Stopwatch and then go Death Cap and build Zonias afterwards, if you're that fed in the game. Void Staff can be substituted for Banshees or a tank item if necessary, so I wouldn't recommend it when you're going full AP. But yeah, this is our build for when we need to snowball the game. We need as much damage as possible, and we want to end fast. If we're an even pace game, we don't need to snowball to win the game. We want to go Protobelt, and then the same build otherwise. Sorry. Same thing, we can go Stopwatch and sit on it to go Death Cap. That's totally fine. But this is our full AP build. Usually we're going this against champs that are squishy, and you can just win the game off your engage. That's kind of your goal. There's nothing to really stop you from engaging, so you want to go full AP and just win the game off your engages. If you need to be a frontliner, it's pretty hard for you to just engage and win the game. We're going to be wanting to go a Jack Show build. The Nashor's Jack Show build is better when you're versus tankier champs, and you're going to be kind of stat checking them. Nashor's allows you to do that really easily. It's also just a really nice build to have on Diana, as it allows you to take objectives and camps so fast. It gives you a lot of dopamine. It's personally my favorite build to go on her. And sometimes I'll even go it in games where the other builds are better, just because it feels that much nicer to play. I have regular boots here, just because you're going to be going a defensive boot. It doesn't really matter which. There's also games where you could go Swifties, so it's pretty rare. Usually you're going to want Mercs, or Tabite for that matter. Next, kind of depends on the game. Frozen R if you're against a bunch of auto attackers, Abyssal Mask if you're against AP champs and have an AP champ on your team, though generally this is just good for you, even if you don't have an AP champ on your team, if you're versus AP champs, because this is going to give you a lot of damage. And then for our final item, we're going any of these 3 items. It just depends on the game. If you need anti-heal, go Thornmail. If you just want more damage and armor, go Sunfire. And then you can go Spirit Visage, which I don't have added if you're against more AP champs or Force of Nature, or you can go Gargoyles if you need both. Simple as that. If we're versus squishy champs, but we're primary engage and they have a lot of burst, we're going to be wanting to go Demonic Jack-Show. Same thing, either defensive boots, same thing, First Arm versus auto attackers, Abyssal Mask versus AP. Same 3 things here. Self-explanatory. Once again, we can go Force of Nature if we want to. Or a Knight's Vow, a million different things you can go for 6th item. It doesn't really matter. This is just your core build up top. I will start up a practice tool game just to show you guys the clears. For some Zandana, we're only ever going Ghost if we're the Nashor's build, usually. Because that's against champs that are all melee range, right? So you're not really going to get much value from that extra engage. You're just going to be stat checking them, and Ghost can allow you to dodge some skill shots and stay on top of them as much as you need to. But other than that, basically always go Flash. Getting into this game, we'll talk about jungle items and our clear, and then basically just a few combos on Diana. Nothing too important. For jungle pets, we're going to be looking at green if we're doing the Demonic Jack-Show build. Or the the Nashor's Jack-Show build. Though it's been nerfed, just the extra shield helps you out on engages. Like 180 to 300 HP shield is a lot, and it will make a difference a lot of the time. You can also get away with red for those builds if you don't feel the difference, but green, in my opinion, is best for those 2 builds. Blue, otherwise, is pretty consistent. Move speed is OP on every champ in the game, so I always recommend it. If you're feeling that you're not comfortable walking into bushes and utilizing it as much as you can, just go red when you're going the AP builds. So basically, you can't go wrong on Diana with which pet you go. I would just make sure you're not going the green when you're going full AP. You should go the blue or red. And if you are going the tank builds, just try to go green or red. Simple as that. When you're clearing on Diana, you have 2 options. You're full clearing towards your lane with Prow, or you're starting your Raptors and 3 camp ganking, or 3 camp invading for that option, if you have double Prow or super volatile lane bot. So I'm going to show you guys the full clears. The only thing to keep in mind is if you're starting Raptors, you want to smite your red buff. So you're going Raptors, then red to smite it, and then Krugs, and looking for your gank. It'll keep you the highest HP possible and clear as fast as possible. You can go E2 in this clear, but it is going to make you lose a bit more HP than you normally would. All we're making sure to do as Diana is, if you see my attack speed actually heightens every time I use a spell. It's the key thing for Diana when clearing on her. We're going to Q to pull the Krugs towards us, get an attack speed auto. You see I waited for my passive to run out before using another spell. We're kiting our Krugs up. Finish off these Krugs with a Q. They stack up nice and easy. Now we're going to hit this Raptor and pull them down just so that we can Q them and W them easier. Waiting for our passive to finish and then using our Q. Step back to kite our Raptors. Unlucky vision loss, but we're okay. Sucks we had to use Q, but it's not a big deal. Normally you would QE here, but it's honestly not a huge difference. Same thing, we're Qing. Eing at the last second to maximize our passive. What you can do here is you can Q through. Just save a bit of time. The one thing to keep in mind is usually you're going to be wanting to go your ground path to your rules. This is just if you want to do a faster clear. You're going to get a bit of value from queuing both. Same thing here. You can actually get Q any off and then still get another E. So if you E the first target before Eing, before your Q hits the second target, you get 3 E's. You'll get 2 resets from it. And here you can see I screwed up the clear, but we still have a super fast 320 clear on Diana, and we're going to be full HP at the time crab spawns. Perfect. Now to show you guys the other one. This side's even simpler. You can, the same on Gwen, auto the blast gun to get a passive stack sooner, but honestly, like, the difference is negligible. Doesn't matter too much. I do have the passive auto bug, so sorry for that. It'll do the animation one time early sometimes. Drag it over. Once again, I could have looked to queue both of the camps there, but it's not going to make a huge difference, so don't need to do every intricacy. Just make sure we're cutting our camp. Nice and easy. Boom. This clear is a little bit faster if you go E, like a bit more so of a difference on blue side than if you go on red side, but once again, not too much to worry about. This time we're going to queue them all out. Just make sure they're all clumped up so your passive auto hits all of them. Then we're Wing. Auto, queue the red early. Our spells are basically always up now, so we're basically using it the second they come out. Once again, could have done the double Q there, but who cares? Make sure we hit our passive auto here. Save our W for when the mini Krugs come out. And once again, 320, we're gonna come out over here, and we're calling it good. Well, actually faster than 320. For fighting on Diana, as I pointed out earlier, I'll make it a bit obvious here. You can get an extra E off. That's gonna be hard with them that close, so I'll show here. As you can see, I E'd the first target, and now I got 3 E's from that play. Do it one more time. We're queuing, then pressing E on the first target, and pressing E on the second target. That's all. Now we get 3 E's. Other thing to keep in know on Diana is flashy ult. Really, really simple. Just make sure the enemy's in range so you don't end up doing this. Well, apparently that was still in range. Jesus Christ. See, make sure you don't do that. It's the only way to lose. So, flashy ult, super simple. Yeah, you can also flash Q ult, but once again, it's going to be a lot slower. Other than that, we're making sure to prioritize objectives over kills on Diana. She takes them super fast. We're going to be looking to clear early while we're on Diana, and the second we hit level 6, we can start looking for ganks and skirmishes, especially around objectives, as that's our main goal. That's all. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know, and if you didn't, please let me know why you didn't enjoy it in the comments. I need some hate mail, guys, so I can improve. It'd be really great. I'm going to try and pump out guides every 2 weeks, so if you could also comment below what champ you would like to see next, that would be awesome. Take care, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed.